Come.
Nice.
Hello, everyone.
We got folks coming in.
We got folks coming in 15, 18. Here they
Nice.
come. Welcome in. We're just going to take a few moments to let everyone join us. Come on in. Feel free to let us know in the chat where you're from, how you're doing. Hi, Tyler. How's it going?
Oh, the chat.
What I want to
should
say.
have that open, shouldn't I?
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Marina, welcome. Ooh, from Austin, Texas. Hey, I need to visit Austin. I still haven't been to Austin. What I also want to hear in the chat is this your first time coming to FAI 2024? Are you coming to the conference? Is it your first time? Another Austinite. Okay. Yes, first timer. Okay, awesome. First timer.
From Nashville.
First timers.
Cool.
Jesus. Pittsburgh, nice. Oh, I was just in Nashville for Americana Fest. That was really fun. Yep. First time from upstate New York. First time from Wichita. Let's go. Oh my gosh.
And St. Louis. Look at that.
We got Louis from Kansas City. Okay, yeah. Maddie, represent. I should be more excited for Kansas City, but I just love Wichita so much. I love the Flint Hills. It's like my favorite place. First time, the Honey Badgers, first time attending. First time from Berlin. No way. Wow.
Spain.
From Barcelona, okay. Spain. Okay, this is exciting. We could do this all day.
We're international. Let's go.
We're international. Okay, Chicago, nice. We should just start. Another Chicago. Barcelona. Okay, I'm going to start. Scotland. Well, hello, everyone. I think we're safe to start. More people will come in as we get going. My name's Fawn. My pronouns are they, them. Welcome to our webinar, Insider's Guide to the 2024 Focal Alliance International Conference. Before we begin, we'd like to just take a moment to gratefully acknowledge that our conference and all of our activities, all of our organization's activities, our activities and the activities of our North American member organizations take place on Indigenous lands. Our office and this year's conference are located on the land of the Kansa, Kaw, Osage, Kickapoo, and Oceti-Sakowin nations. And we invite you to use the chat to tell us about where you're joining us from. And you can find a tool which I'm posting in the chat now, called native-land.ca that shares information about the Indigenous nations in your area that you're living on. So I'm joined today by my co-host, Jerod Rivers.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, there we are. We have a pretty big team at Focal Alliance. Before we get started, I just want to show the faces of our other team members. They're going to be joining us in the chat today. So we've got Nita, our new ED, Jen, our deputy director, Alex, who, if you're a Focal Alliance vet, you may recognize, but I'm sure he'll become a familiar face if you're a first timer. We have Tisha, who you'll see a lot during registration. Our team goes on. Lily, my lovely assistant, who makes a lot of the beautiful things that you'll see today during our webinar, like our slides, and helps out with graphic design stuff. Marina, our admin assistant. Nick, our publicist. And then we've got our conference team of folks: Beth, Kylie, Jim, and Claire, Luanda, Scott, Tim, Renata, Rebecca, Ariel. Thank you to all those folks, and you will see them and their faces and probably communicate with a few of them when you come to our conference in February. So I'd also like to say that if you have any questions, and keep in mind there are no dumb questions at all, then you're welcome to put them in the Q&A. We'll try to get to them throughout the webinar. But if we're not able to get to one of your questions, I've just posted in the chat our email address and our office. Our email address is the best way to just reach us, at any time. But during our office hours, which are 9 to 5 CT time, Central Time, feel free to give us a call. Tisha will most likely be the one that answers, that picks up. And Tisha is amazing. If you need help with registration, if you don't know how to become a member, Tisha is probably who you're going to talk to, and she will help you through all of that. So as we move forward through this webinar, remember to put your questions in the Q&A, and I'll pass things over to Jerod to go over what we'll be covering in today's webinar.
Yeah, thanks, Fawn. Thanks so much for the introduction. As Fawn said, my name is Jerod Rivers, conference director. Pronouns are he, him. Today, we're covering 5 sections. So first off, what is this conference? Second, the programming at the conference. What does it look like? Number 3, preparing for the conference. Number 4, how to start connecting now with the time you have in preparing for the conference. And then finally, at the end of the webinar, we'll have a pre-conference checklist. Just like Fawn said before, get into the chat. We have staff members there who can answer your questions. If you're not a first timer, man, we would love you to share your own experiences from the conference. I think that would be great. And then there's, Fawn, do we have a Q&A section in this webinar? Like an actual question and answer module?
We don't, but
we don't.
Hopefully there'll be time at the end.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. If we've
Okay.
got time at the end, we'll get to people's questions, and maybe we can even have some staff members bring some stuff forward that they thought were really awesome to address. So, Fawn, why don't you go ahead and get started? Tell us a little bit about what Folk Alliance's conference is.
Okay, so the Folk Alliance Conference, this is the largest gathering of the folk music community in the world. It's a great opportunity to connect with the national and international folk music community. And the next conference, you probably already know this, is in Kansas City, Missouri, and it takes place February 21st through the 25th in 2024. So just next year, we're just a few months away from it. We have a pretty broad definition of like what folk music is. So if you're asking yourself, do I sound folky enough? You're asking the wrong question.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as not folky enough or too folky, and we represent a long list of genres. I can read the list now. Appalachian, Americana, blues, bluegrass, Celtic, global roots, hip hop, old time, singer-songwriter, spoken word, traditional, zydeco, and various fusions. But we have panels, showcase opportunities, great jam sessions, networking opportunities, keynotes, and speakers from around the world. Here's a photo of Janice Ian from last year. If you want an idea of what to expect from the programming, I'd recommend that you check out our conference page. So if I'm on our website here and I click on conference, scroll down a little bit and you can see last year's program book.
That's a great resource. Yeah.
Really great resource. We haven't announced our programming for next year yet. We will soon. So stay tuned for those announcements. But if I scroll through, I can see all of the different programming. I can get a map if you want to get that detailed in your planning. Let's go to, well, here's our schedule at a glance here, but I want to jump to our programming grid. Where is that? That's back here. So we've got a documentary film that we showed, Country Connections and Global Music Match. They did a panel there. Let's see, Spotlight on Songcraft. Is songwriting an art, a craft, or both? How does an artist take a burst of creative impulse and hone it into a finely tuned, perfectly worded piece of universal truth? We've got peer sessions where you can agents connect with agents, or DJs connect with DJs, or managers connect with managers. There's a lot to be had at our conference as far as programming goes. So take a look at our program book if you want just an idea of what all is going on while you're there.
And just a reminder that that's last year's program.
That is last year.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll announce this year's programming soon. So like I said, stay tuned for that. And finally, who comes to our conference?
Good question.
Let's see here. Oh, Jesus. So we've got industry experts, label and distribution, artists and creators, media, PR folks, industry associations. We've got software and tech companies, brands, public institutions, all sorts of people, artists, managers, labels, DJs, arts organizations, label heads. If you can think of someone who's relevant to the folk music industry, you're bound to find someone at our conference. We have about 2,000 people that show up. About half of those people are artists. I've spoken to some of our artists before who have, said that they found their guitarist or they found their drummer going to Folk Alliance, which, maybe I don't recommend coming, without a vital member of your act, but it's definitely happened before. Speaking of that, I've also heard from artists, there are sort of 2 ways to attend Folk Alliance. You either come with a goal in mind, and you and your bandmates, you put all of your energy into achieving that goal. Are you looking for an agent? Are you looking for new places to tour? Are you looking for talent to connect with or represent? B2B connections. Then there are some folks that come with no plan and just experience our community. But we, understand that this is an investment. And so we want to get you as much out of this as possible. And so we recommend coming with a plan. And so while we're going through today's presentation, I want you to think, what are my goals for coming to Folk Alliance? What do I want to get out of this conference? And if you don't know how to achieve that goal, then that should be your question in the Q&A. Ask us or email us. Tell us what your goals are, and we will definitely help you navigate our conference in the best way. But I also want folks to understand that, like, this is fun. It's beautiful. There's a lot of amazing music. This is a place where people can pretty reliably do business. We've had artists come to our conference and consistently book multiple shows or have touring opportunities open up just because now they know people in different parts of the country. We've had people come to the first time and simply never miss another conference because they've found their people, they found a home, they found community. Artists and agents book tours and anchor dates. Other artists will build relationships that lead them to building a professional team. For industry professionals, each year, your business relationships and your network get stronger, and your positioning in the music business in this unique sector of it gets stronger. So everyone finds a way to collaborate and to really make meaningful, valuable, lifelong connections. So with all that out of the way, Jerod, do you want to talk a little bit about just the programming, the basic structure of the conference?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you kind of position the conference in a place of, this is a business conference, because, sometimes we get the reputation of, people say Folk Alliance is a festival, or Folk Alliance is this party or family reunion. And while those things, elements of that is true, it is all under the banner of a networking conference. And so we structure ourselves a lot like a networking conference. And so the basic structure of the conference is like, when you're first on site at the hotel, you go get your badge, you download the app, and you can do this as early as Wednesday afternoon of the conference. And the other programming that happens on Wednesday is we have the International Folk Music Awards on Wednesday evening at the hotel. That is your classic award show for this industry, things like Song of the Year, Artist of the Year, special recognitions for just incredible achievements throughout the year that have happened in the folk music industry. And then when that's over, we have our first set of private showcases. And we're going to talk more about what private showcases are later, but we're just putting a pin in that for now. Registration, again, remains open on Wednesday. And then the conference really kicks off 9 a.m. Thursday morning with daytime programming. Official showcases and private showcases is kind of the three portions of the day. Programming starting in the morning might be things like panels, networking, occasionally receptions. We have the exhibit hall during the day, which is an incredible networking event. Things like workshops. What else? We even have like unique summits that happen during the days. And then there will always be a break from about 4:30 to 6:30. There's this 2-hour break for you to get some food, get some water, refresh yourself a little bit, because Folk Alliance is a long haul. The programming goes all day and all night. So that's the break built in the middle of the schedule. And then at 6:30, the official showcases kick off at the hotel, followed at 10:30 by the private showcases, which go until 3 a.m. And I know some of you are just now wrapping your head around that. Yes, we are programming from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. It's a very exciting, very electric event, all taking place in the host hotels. And then that goes all the way through Saturday. And on Sunday, we have the main event on Sunday is the closing party. That is happening this year offsite at the Madrid Theater, a historic theater in the Main Street corridor of Kansas City. I mentioned those global summits. We don't have our global summits locked down yet for this year, but we have a couple in the works. We're very excited about it, and we can't wait to kind of announce those and get you guys plugged into that programming. Fawn, do you want to talk a little bit about what networking stuff looks like during the daytime programming?
Yeah, there's so much programming, so much networking. I've said a little bit about it during the when we were looking at the program book. The peer sessions are a great way to connect with your peers. Agents connect with agents, DJs connect with DJs, that sort of thing. We have the exhibit hall, and I'll show an
Yeah.
image of that now. We have the exhibit hall, and that's an amazing opportunity to connect with the organizations and companies that are in the music industry, who are just excited to connect with you and share what they're doing, or in some cases what they're selling. We have a bunch of gearheads. If you want to go there and talk gear, talk microphones or guitars or drums, there's an exhibit hall booth for you to geek out with someone just as passionate about it. Here's our Treehouse custom drums. You can just go crazy in the exhibit hall. If you are a business, if you have a business or an organization that you want to promote, that you want to exhibit, then Alex, who we showed earlier, is a great person to connect with there. Alex, say hi in chat if you're here. But the exhibit hall is just an amazing place to network with the folks that are a part of our industry, but aren't really getting stage time in the same way that the rest of us might be. So then we have our regional gatherings and our peer sessions. Let's see if I can find a good photo of that. Our gatherings. So we have our regional gatherings, and that's where our Focal Alliance regions, we have Focal Alliance International, where we connect, on an international level. But then we have our Focal Alliance regions, which we'll get into a little bit later. But those are our Focal Alliance organizations that are dedicated to supporting and maintaining the industry in specific parts of North America and Europe. We have a Nordic Focal Alliance as well. So we have SURFA, SWRFA, Farm, Far West. I'm missing one. Jerod, help me out here.
NERFA.
NERFA. Oh my gosh, how could I forget NERFA? NERFA's coming up.
Yeah.
And we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. But each of those regions, when you become a member of Focal Alliance International, you automatically become a member of your respective region based on where you're located. And so we have an opportunity for you to connect with those regional members during the conference. We have our peer sessions, and our peer sessions are incredible. They're one of my favorite parts of the conference. This is where we, instead of gathering based on our shared roles within the music industry, we gather based on our shared cultural identities or backgrounds. So we have an affinity group for Indigenous people. We have an affinity group for women, one for LGBTQ plus people. So we have quite a few affinity groups. They're all really beautiful experiences. I would highly recommend going to one of them. And yeah, our peer sessions I already covered. This year, we'll also be doing house concerts unlocked, where house venues can get together and connect. And a really great little bit for our artists is Meet the Folk DJs. I think we'll be having that next year as well, and we did last year. So that's a chance for artists to meet their favorite folk DJs and share their latest recordings. Typically speaking, you don't want to bring a ton of CDs with you. CDs are really bulky. They're difficult to travel with, but some of our DJs do definitely appreciate CDs. So if you plan on going to that session, make sure you bring a couple, maybe a few to pass around. But we'll get into prepping a little bit later. Let's see. I think that's everything. Jerod, do you want to talk more about the showcases?
Oh, absolutely. So kind of moving into part 2 out of our daytime programming, in the evenings, we have the official showcases where we really transform the ballrooms of the hotels into venues, doing full production stages in 9 rooms of the hotel. The official showcases are on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And of those 9 stages, we stagger the times that the sets start. So we have 5 stages that start at 6 o'clock and 4 stages that start at 6:15. And those 30-minute performances are then staggered throughout the night. We really do this because it allows presenters to see a lot more music when we have staggered times like that. There are typically 6 performances per night. Per stage. And so for those of you who are doing incredibly fast math in your head, that's 162 official showcases this year that we'll have at the Westin Hotel. I just think it's important to note that all of the showcases are in the same building. Folk Alliance is unique like that. There's a lot of music industry conferences where the showcases are spread out around the entire city. We keep it incredibly walkable, so folks can go from one room to another in just a few minutes, and it makes for an incredibly exciting time in the hotel. The hallways are absolutely electric. There are tons of random connections that happen. So it's really important to remember as an artist or as an industry attendee to be present and be prepared for really just putting your best foot forward, whether you're performing on stage or whether you're off stage talking to folks afterward. A couple of notes for those who have been before, we are hosting showcases in Benton's on the 20th floor again. And just like in previous years, we will have a dedicated elevator operator who is ferrying folks up and down in that direct no stops elevator to Benton's. So I say that because it's worth budgeting a few extra minutes to get up to that room. It takes a little bit longer than some of the others. It's absolutely worth it though, once you see those views. It's a really incredible room, again, on the 20th floor of the hotel. If you're performing an official showcase, first off, congratulations, well done. Your schedule, your performance agreement, and your showcase advance emails are all coming very soon. You'll be getting those over the span of the next month. And you'll also be connected with a production coordinator who is assigned to you and your room and is basically your guide through the entire process and will help you with any questions that you have. Did somebody post the official showcase artist list in the chat? I would love to share that with people, Fawn, if we can get that one dropped in.
Yeah, let me find that.
It's such a cool page. Allows you to see the other artists that are showcasing, get to know them a little bit. For presenters, this is a great place to start looking. I also, Fawn, can I talk about Spotify? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So just wanted to check. We're going to have a Spotify playlist with the official showcase acts on it, which I think is an incredible way to just kind of preview and get ready for those official showcases. So I'm excited. It's in the works. It's coming. And you know what? This is a good spot to then just talk about private showcases, how they differ, right? So they come right afterward. This is an incredibly unique event to Folk Alliance. Not a lot of other music conferences have this. What we're doing is we're hosting showcases in the guest rooms. Are you throwing up some pictures? Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're hosting showcases in the guest rooms of the Westin Hotel on the 5th, 6th, and 7th floor. You don't have to leave. You don't have to go walk around the city in February. You stay in the hotel, and the density of performances and networking is really just unmatched. These are not juried showcases, so anybody can play them. The host decides who plays. Most of them are acoustic performances, but there are a few amplified rooms. And one cool thing that happens is the hosts, actually a lot of them, remove the beds from the rooms and put out chairs and create these little micro venues. They're absolutely incredible, unforgettable performances, connections with artists and industry, unlike anything you'll see even during the official showcases. It's really an event to remember for sure. I've got a couple tips for artists. We get these questions a lot, especially from first timers. It's really important to remember that you introduce yourself and have a sign up next to you that has your name of like who you are when you're performing, because there are so many performances happening at once that people move around these rooms quickly. Maybe you can see in the photos that some people are seated, some people are standing, but I want to throw something out there. If somebody comes in, listens to one song, gets up and leaves, I promise it's not a slight on you as an artist. They're just checking out a lot of performances that night. And so they likely have another showcase to get to, which is why it's so important that you put your best foot forward with that performance and you let people know who you are. Anytime you see a new face walk into the room, reintroduce yourself. Really important. Those private showcases are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. 4 nights of private showcases from 10:30 to 3. And there is a pocket guide and an app that has the full schedule of where everyone's performing and at what time. A question I get all the time, Fawn, from folks is like how to book private showcases, especially with first timers. I don't know if you could share the screen that has that page from our website, maybe the performing a private showcase page.
Yeah, let's do that.
There's a resource that we put on there called the private showcase host list. And it's down at the bottom of that page. The first part is just information for you all. But that host list has 3 columns. And here's how you use it. The first one is the name of the room. That might have a little bit of insight for you into what their theme is.
Shoot.
What's
I
up?
I hope that I wasn't sharing the wrong screen. I'm going to share that now. Oh, there we go.
Okay. It's your first webinar, Fawn. I'll forgive that. Anyway,
Okay.
that first column, yeah, I'm seeing it. It looks good. That first column, name of the room, maybe a little bit of insight into what their theme is. The second column is the name of the organization that's producing it, and that has a link to their website. So you can do a little bit of research, get to know who this person is and why they're producing a room at Folk Alliance. And then the third is the name of the booking contact. And if it's linked there, if it shows up, that means they're accepting solicitation. And so what you do is you do a little bit of research on the host, see if you would like to partner with them for a showcase, because you're asking for a spot and they're hosting you. So is it going to be a good partnership? Does it make sense for you to be performing in their room? Send them a direct and personal request. Do not spam this list. It's not a good look. You will not be getting showcases booked that way. And also just be aware, some hosts charge for a slot, some do not. It's really up to the host. But the most important thing is to start early. Get on this webpage that Fawn is showing you all and start researching. Rooms do fill up fast.
Do you mind if I jump in real
Oh,
quick?
please
Jerod?
do. Come on.
Because I want to sort of show an example of what we mean by, doing your own research. But I also want to say, wait, no, I'm losing it. I just forgot the second point. Let's start with the research. So as you can see, we've got, like Jerod said, our room names, then the presenter, then the contact info. So let's take, for example, all my Oklahomies out there. Somebody put that on a t-shirt. The Oklahoma Storyteller Showcase room. I probably won't Google that. I'm doubting that they have a website that's called the Oklahoma Storyteller Showcase room.
But there's a lot of information in that name.
There is a lot of information in that name.
Is that person accepting solicitations?
I see that their name is hyperlinked. Sarah Pope Joy. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So I know that I can reach out to them. Should I? Let's Google real quick. American Songbird LLC. Don't look at my other browser
I hope
history.
they've got that website up and going.
Oh God, maybe they don't.
Fawn's freelancing.
Small business owner. Small Songbird LLC. American Songbird. Jeez. That might be the not.
Maybe not the example, but I see where you're going.
Are
you a songwriter? Are you from the Dust Bowl area of the Midwest? I'd say either of those would absolutely qualify you to reach out to us, Ms. Lovejoy. Yeah.
Are you a storyteller? You can see here that this room is called Women of Note, presented by I'm going to butcher this. I know this. Aoife. Thank you, Tisha. The Women of Note room is an incredible room every year, or at least I know that they did one last year. If you are a woman or femme identifying, then you should be reaching out to Aoife. And if not, then that clearly is not the room for you. So, just do a little bit of, there are some context clues to go off of, but if you don't know whether or not you would be a good fit, or, if you align with their goals, or if the presenter aligns with your goals as an artist, just doing a quick Google search or contacting them is a great way to find that out. So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. There's some good activity right now in the chat. We've actually got some private showcase hosts here. I see Rigby.
Very nice.
Yeah. And, some great points there, like don't reach out through social media. Like we have this list here on the website specifically for reaching out. So they may have created a form or an email specifically for artists to be reaching out on this channel. So use the correct channel to reach out. Mickey had a great question. I love this. What sort of info are hosts generally looking for a request? So if we have any hosts, drop in some of your answers. Maybe Rigby, take a stab at it. Let us know what hosts are looking for. What should you be sending them when you're doing this? So great question. Keep those good questions coming in the chat.
A few other bits of info on this list. Right now, you can see here at the bottom that it says showing so many of 60 entries. This list will keep growing. So as we get closer to the conference, Jerod, how many do you think? How many rooms will we have?
Oh man, I mean, we've got 3 full floors of hotels, of the hotel. So I mean, it could get as high as 70, 75, 80 rooms. I don't know.
Okay, so there are more rooms on the way. And also, I'll just say this now. If you are a private showcase room host, please that maybe reach out to me on social media. If you want to post about your room, tag us on that, because we have a lot of artists that ask us, what are the best private showcase rooms to apply to? Maybe they don't want to do their own research like we've just recommended. But if you're looking for a way to promote your room, or you want more artists to apply, someone just did this a couple of weeks ago. They just made a post on Instagram and tagged us. We will definitely share that. So just keep that in mind, private showcase room hosts.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Speaking about signing up for rooms, Folk Alliance International actually hosts a couple private showcase rooms that, like, as staff, we produce them. The first timers room, traditional music room, ethno music room are all up this year and ready to go. And we will be opening a form for those. And so it's actually just first come, first serve. There's no kind of audition process for those rooms. So watch that website that Fawn had open. We'll be putting the link up there this week. One of the other really important points I just want to drive home for all the artists is we do limit, or ask to limit, the number of private showcases that an artist plays during the duration of the conference. So over the 4 nights, you're limited to 6 private showcases. And this is really about a couple of things. First off, if you have more than 6 showcases, you're really just taking showcases away that other artists would have been able to benefit more from, because 6 showcases over 4 days is starting to get into the territory of, well, if you're performing that much, there's no need to come see you at any specific time. And so you want to try to limit it a little bit. I would say 4 is a sweet spot for sure, because you're performing once every night. There's an urgency to come see you in your showcase. And that kind of leads me to my next point, is how do you advertise your showcase? One of the best ways is to just make a little card, so that when you're meeting people during the day, you have something you can hand to folks, or that they can take a photograph of on their camera phone, that just has your name, your contact information, and when you're playing. Really easy, make it clear, make it legible. As Fawn kind of said earlier, business cards are better than CDs. They're easier to hand out, easier to travel with. A lot of folks can't travel home with CDs, but have them. Be flexible for the people who want them. And then finally, advertising your showcase. Our poster policy only allows showcase hosts, so the people who have the rooms, to put up posters in the hallways, but individual artists can purchase digital advertising that goes on TVs outside every official showcase room. They're all over the hotel room, that have these scrolling advertisements. So artists, please, once you get your showcase kind of card artwork put together, please come purchase one of those digital ads and get it up on the screens so everybody can see where you're playing. I see folks standing around those TVs all the time taking notes. And again, that's follow up with Alex, or you can go to our conference page and go to the sales, or is it sponsorship? It's one of the two. It's sponsorship.
Sales.
Yeah, sales. Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you. Fawn, I think that's about all I've got on private showcases for now.
Well, did you cover the private showcase cards? I know that we're going to talk about that a little later, but I have some examples that I can show here.
I did, but there's a great example. Yeah, I covered the cards, something people can take photos of. Yeah, show that.
I'll pin
Perfect. Very legible, very easy to see.
Bassett.
Nice.
Beautiful photo on the front, very simple, minimalistic. It was a little big, so I had to fold it. QR code on the back with their times, the times of their official showcases and private showcases. I got some from Ashley, Virginia. Hey, shout out to Ashley, Virginia. That was so unplanned. Amazing artist, and there were all of her private showcases. She looks like she had 5. Janice Jolie.
Nice.
So these are just a few.
Fun.
Janice Jolie, QR code on the back, all the important information, a little bit of a bio. So you get the picture.
Excellent.
I've got a ton here.
Yeah.
But
great examples.
Go ahead and move on to ways to save. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I want to show off a really great page on our website.
Fawn, I think you might have jumped.
I might have jumped.
I think you did when we were talking about
Oh, did
instrument
I?
check and the mobile app. I think you might have jumped a page.
My mistake. Okay,
It's
let's talk about
okay.
instrument check.
Go for it.
I wish that I had some great photos of instrument check. I know that we've got some from last year. But what is instrument check? So, you go into a hotel, you can check your luggage, at the hotel lobby desk. We have what's called instrument check. So on the ballroom level of the hotel and on the 7th floor, on one of the private showcase floors, we have what's called instrument check. So if you don't want to lug around your guitar or any heavy, instrument around, then you can just take it to instrument check. They'll give you a slip, and then you can come back and get your instrument whenever it's time for you to play, whenever you need it. It is locked up when it's not attended, so your stuff is safe. I don't think we've had any issues with people not being able to get their instruments. However, once instrument check closes, and its hours will be posted in the app, so it'll be very clear when instrument check closes. Your instruments are going to stay overnight. So if you need your instruments before the night is over, make sure that you pick them up from instrument check.
That's right.
So there will be a mobile app, and which will contain the schedule. We're not going to do a program book this year. I know that we all love the program books, but just in an effort to be greener, to care a little bit more about the environment and the trees that we're turning into those program books, we're going all digital this year. We've got a great app. You can favorite all of your favorite items in the schedule. That includes the panels and the programming during the day, the official showcases, and even the private showcases make it into the app. So it's a great way to just organize your entire conference experience. And for our final, just, understanding what the conference is section, I just want to remind everyone, but Jerod said that these private showcases go until 3 a.m. And my team knows that I do not sleep during this thing at all. Well, sometimes I do. I sleep during all of our important meetings. But remember, remember to rest, take care of yourself, bring good shoes to this. You want to have good walking shoes. I know that the cute Rothy's flats are going to look great, or the high heels are really going to make you stand out on stage. You're going to do a lot of walking. Everything is in one place. But remember to just care about your comfort a little bit. Wash your hands. I don't know why this is in the notes, but sure. We'll throw that in there.
People are not doing this still.
Are people not wash your hands, you filthy animals?
That's
Exercise. If you're staying at the hotel at the west end of the Sheraton, which we'll speak a little bit more about in a bit, there is a gym, there's a pool, and for everyone coming to the conference, we have yoga sessions in the morning, which not enough people take advantage of. So remember to just stay healthy, moderate your intake. You can't get to everything, take your time, go at your own pace. I know that there are so many bands that will come to our conference and they're like, okay, you've got this section, you've got this section, and they just divide and conquer. That's a very smart way of doing it. Everyone takes notes and then shares, at the end of the day. But I would say that the most important thing is that as you're going around the conference and developing all of these great, connections and networking, that you, after the conference, follow up with those new connections within 2 weeks. That's usually the sweet spot. And what I've started doing is that I just have, when you add someone in your phone contacts or when you follow them on Instagram, they just immediately get lost in the algorithm or in that giant list of folks on your phone. What I've been doing is I either literally have a single sheet of paper that I will carry around with me, and I write everything down in that, or I have a single notes page app. If I take down someone's photo, someone's number, it goes inside that page so that all of my connections are in one place and they don't get lost in the shuffle of all the other contact things. That's just a hot tip from me. But that's all I've got. Do we have any relevant questions or anyone in the chat?
I mean, we've got some great stuff coming in, like, Lee Herman is saying, definitely sleep, definitely hydrate. I couldn't reinforce that enough. We talked at the very beginning of this, Fawn, about how Folk Alliance is a networking event first and foremost. And yes, during those private showcases or during those official showcases, there will be alcohol in the hotel, but I can't stress enough how important it is to maintain a professional air about yourself. So moderate the alcohol intake. It's not going to help you get work. It's not going to help you be on your best foot when you start the next day. So take it easy for sure.
Look at all these happy people moderating their alcohol intake. I've got some
Yeah.
great photos.
Look at all these
Look at
happy
that.
people moderating their alcohol intake.
Look at
You
that.
couldn't, yeah, absolutely
Beautiful.
right. Thank you for these incredible photos, Fawn.
Oh, of
I hope
course.
that people are kind of getting a feel for this event, having a look at it. Are you ready to jump into the next section of prepping for the conference? All
Let's do it.
right, let's do it. So we're just going to kind of go through this pretty quickly. Like, what are we doing to prepare for this conference? Well, number one, register. If you haven't already, register for the conference. I'm going to have a link dropped into the chat here to register for anybody who hasn't already. Excuse me. A couple tips. I recommend registering from a desktop computer. We have known issues with our registration form, which we don't have control over, that come up on mobile devices. So if you do have any issues, as was mentioned before, Tisha in our office really knows the best ways to register. She's also an expert on membership. So when it comes to pricing, Tisha is absolutely your go-to for any questions, but all of the pricing is right there on the website as well. Currently, we are in our advance rate, which ends at the end of this month, October 31st. It's worth noting that all pricing on the website is in US dollars. And as you can see, we will be, until the end of the month, continuing our lowest rate for artists. Artist members can register for $225. And artist bands are limited. There is a registration cap, so you don't pay more than X number of dollars. And if you are a band of that size, check in with Tisha to get that code and everything. We always get a lot of questions about the cancellation policy. So I want to let everyone know it's on that page. Yeah, there it is. You scroll to the bottom, cancellation policy's there. 10,000 foot view, what is it? Our cancellation policy is essentially that registration fees are refundable minus a small fee if you cancel 30 days, if you cancel before 30 days prior to the event. And then we have an alternative. You can actually defer registration as well. If you're not able to attend in 2024, you have the option to kick that registration forward to 2025. But that being said, there are tons of different ways to save on attending our conference, and I would love for Fawn to kind of roll us through some of those.
Yeah, let's talk about that. This is also available on our website, which I know isn't the easiest thing to navigate, but if you click on the Attend menu down at the bottom, you've got ways to save there, and we've also got a few here. So the easiest way is just to become an FAI member. A membership, an annual membership, I think starts at $70, and you save $100 on your conference registration just instantly. You also, sorry if y'all can hear the sirens in the background, you can also save on our regional conferences by becoming a member too. I'll just mention that. But on this page, our ways to save page, we've got 10 great ways to save. I'll just go through some of them quickly. We've got the artist discount. Our artists always pay the least. I mean, aside from our students really have a pretty sweet deal. But our artists pay the least at our conference. We have that registration cap, which Jerod mentioned. You can volunteer for our conference. If you're an FAI member, you can volunteer. I think that we just require that you volunteer for at least 16 hours during the conference, and then your registration fee is waived.
I'll talk more into that in detail here in a minute for sure.
That's right. I already mentioned becoming a member, but you also have the opportunity to book your hotel through our website. On our website, we have special links that you can use to access our group rate for the hotel, which you can save quite a bit. I think upwards of at least $100 through registering on our website. So in that same attend section, just go to hotel booking and you'll find those links here. We also have a room sharing option, which I'll go into in a bit. Every year, this happens every year. It might sound a little weird for people that aren't familiar with it, but every year our community sort of rallies together, and the people that want to save a little bit of money and have, most hotel rooms are going to have, 2 queen beds anyway. Splitting that room with someone can, cut your you cut your hotel cost in half. So in the past, people have done that through our Facebook group, but we have a dedicated community platform where you can do that and more, which we'll go into in detail in just a little bit. I'll go back to our ways to save page and let's finish that up. So we've got our student discount, which I covered. Of course, the earlier you register, the more you save. Like Jerod mentioned, October 31st is the deadline for this current registration price cap. After October 31st and November 1st, all those prices are going to go up. If it's your first time attending, you should apply for a scholarship. I cannot stress that enough. We do give priority to people who have been to our regional conferences, and there is a regional conference coming up, even though I would not say to wait around for it to apply for a scholarship. But we also give priority to official showcase applicants. If it's your first time coming to the conference and you have not applied for a scholarship yet, please apply. We have one for artists, and we also have one for industry folks as well.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have a referral program. If you refer anyone to the conference and they attend and list you as their reference in their registration, then we'll send you $50 back after the conference. And that can stack. You can refer as many people as you'd like, up to it covering the complete cost of your registration. Finally, we have day passes that are available. So if you only plan on attending the conference for a day, then you can just pay for that. That is limited to industry registrations, but still handy to know. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover there. Jerod, do you want to talk a little bit more about volunteering?
I do. I want to talk about some details on that because we've got a lot of first timers here, and I can't speak highly enough about the opportunity to volunteer even as a first timer. It's a brilliant way to do a little bit of forced networking. If you think, oh man, I just don't really know a lot of people here, you're going to get a chance to be part of a team right off of the bat. We can't produce this conference without our volunteers. They are everywhere in every session, in every part of the hotel, in every room. And so it's an incredible team to jump into, especially if you have some skills. You want to get on a special team like the production team or something like that, or a hospitality team, if that's where your jam is. And I just kind of want to cover, for some of those folks who have been here before, an important point. We're changing this year. We're returning back to the model of only having volunteers who are members of FAI. But I think it's really important to note that anyone can become a member of FAI. If you're on this webinar and you're not yet a member, talk to Tisha. Become a member today. This is just another one of those incredible member benefits that you get. Volunteers have a set number of hours that they work during the conference. It's 16 hours. And you work those 16 hours, it covers 100% of your registration fees. So $0 to attend. There are a limited number of spots available though. So do apply as soon as possible. Apply on the website. And yeah, but we have Beth Hatch back this year as our volunteer coordinator. She has tons of experience, over 10 years of doing this with Folk Alliance. So great to answer your questions. And one of the biggest ones I always get from first-time artists is, can I volunteer and will they work with my schedule? The answer is yes, absolutely. We work with artist schedules to make sure you're not volunteering when you're supposed to be at some kind of showcase or something like that. So that's what I had for volunteers. Let's keep moving, talk about travel and accommodations. We'll talk about the hotels. We'll talk about getting to the city. The first thing I want to talk about is folks traveling in from abroad. So if we can drop the URL into chat, Fawn, that would be great. Talking about visa requirements. So I'm not a lawyer for Folk Alliance. I'm not making this statement. The web page is absolutely like your source of information, but I'm going to summarize here a little bit for the folks on this webinar. If you are coming to Kansas City just for the Folk Alliance Business Conference, you're not coming to be paid for work. You're coming for a business conference. So you're not required to have a work visa in most instances. But please review that website. We get a lot of questions about this. They're all answerable there. And there's even links to more information and people, if you have a very specific case, people you can reach out to for help. If you're an official showcase artist, you are going to be receiving a letter if you're coming in from overseas, and it'll have all the band names listed on there. If you're traveling to Kansas City from within the US, it's worth noting that Kansas City is a hub for Southwest Airlines. I know in the past, Google Flights used to not show all of Southwest Airlines flights. So it's worth noting to go to Southwest's website, look for flights there. Also consider taking a train. The Amtrak train that comes into Kansas City drops you off at Union Station, which is across the street from the Westin Hotel. There is no travel time, where the airport is about 30 minutes by vehicle away from the host hotel. But speaking of the airport, we just got a brand new terminal at the Kansas City International Airport, initials MCI if you're searching for it online. And it's a beautiful brand new terminal, and super smooth, super clean. You're going to love arriving there. As far as arranging, we recommend taxis and Ubers. They're really easy to get. It's about 30 to 40 bucks. There's other stuff though. You can arrange super shuttle, things like that. There's even a public bus that takes about an hour to get downtown. And then you'll have to either get on the streetcar or take another bus. But again, the streetcar is free in Kansas City, runs from downtown right to Union Station, which drops you off right at the hotel. Fawn, can you tell us a little bit more about the host hotels?
Yeah. So here is the Westin Crown Center. That is our host hotel for the 2024 conference. The Westin is connected to the Sheridan Hotel, which is the other hotel that's listed on our hotel booking page on our website. And when I say connected, I really do mean connected. I'd love to show this video, actually. Let's see. I'll just pull this up here. So this here is the Sheridan. I'm going to mute this video here. The Sheridan is the connected hotel. And you literally just walk up this escalator, take a turn here, go through what's called the link.
Yeah,
and
the link.
There is a giant indoor walkway. Keep in mind, you're going to be here in February, and February is when it likes to snow. It is going to be late February, so who knows? It could be 80 degrees by the time we actually get around to the conference. But without fail, it usually snows in February in KC. So you've got this large, heated, really acoustically amazing tunnel that connects the Sheridan Hotel to the Westin, and I go down these steps here, and there I am. Now I'm back in the Westin, where our conference takes place. So staying at the Westin is definitely great. You are right in the action. If I fast forward a little bit here, then you can see the Westin just a little bit. There was a conference going on while I was there. I don't know what for. But you'll know that you're in the right place when you see this giant jungle with the waterfall. I don't think the waterfall will be turned on, unfortunately. But the rooms up to, or the elevators up to the Westin rooms are just right here in this area, in this like lobby ballroom area. And so if you're staying at the Westin, it's great. You're right on top of the action of the conference. You're right at the elevators that take you to the private showcase floors as well. If you stay at the Sheridan, it's a little bit cheaper, but it's super close. It's just a 5-minute walk from the Sheridan through the link and back into the Westin. There is a bar, there is a gym, there is an indoor pool. There is also Crown Center, which I've got a video for that too. Let's see if I can find that. So let's mute this again. If you start off in the Westin lobby, which I didn't show, but you're in the Westin lobby and you walk on up, then there's Crown Center. Crown Center is a really important part of KC aficionados' childhoods. This is where you go to meet Santa. This is where you do your holiday shopping. It is a huge indoor mall. There's a sort of a convenience store that's right next to the lobby. There's a food court, a spin pizza, Unforked. There's a ton of different restaurants. Follow us on social media and we'll be providing our official restaurant recommendations if you're staying in the hotel or going outside and adventuring in KC. So anything that you might need food-wise is definitely available in Crown Center, and that's another benefit of staying in the hotels. So let's talk about parking. If you're parking, the situation is actually pretty great. There's always going to be parking available, but it is $25 a day to park in the Sheridan's garage in the Westin's garage or Crown Center's garage. There's usually a lot more space in Crown Center's garage, and technically there is validation, but the validation process is complicated and honestly, I don't even think worth talking about. So it's all self-park. You show up, you get a ticket, and that's pretty much all there is to it. But as far as the discounted rates on our hotel rooms go, I cannot stress enough that you should book as quickly as possible. I'm just going to share my screen again and show you that page one more time. Remember, it's in the attend section and then hotel booking. Our group rate rooms usually go pretty quickly. They usually go, they're usually sold out before our deadline, which is in January. So if you plan on staying at the hotel, please book as soon as possible. And we will talk about hotel sharing hopefully in a few minutes. Jerod, do you want to jump into the next section?
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of time, but you know what? We're just going to step on the gas here. So food at the conference, I want to talk about the expectations. Sometimes conferences provide food. Folk Alliance is not one of those. We don't have group meals at the hotel. So the places where you do get food at Folk Alliance are things like receptions and coffee breaks and stuff like that. There's a regional coffee. Fawn mentioned earlier, those regional group meetings that happen. We have coffee that morning. Other things is, so bring your own money for meals. We just talked about the Crown Center food court and the Westin restaurants. Bring your own water bottle as well. As part of our green initiative, the hotel provides water, but not all the thousands and thousands of plastic cups per day it would take to get everybody. So bring your own water bottle. Other food options are the streetcar. Get on that streetcar and you have access to all of the restaurants through the Crossroads area and into downtown. Food delivery is pretty easy. Have it delivered to the lobby of the hotel or the hotel's address and meet them out at the valet. The Fawn wanted me to mention microwaves. Microwaves are very important to Fawn, and it's worth noting that there are no microwaves in the rooms at the Westin and the Sheratons, but they are available on request. They do have refrigerators though in them.
I'm showing some video, by the way, streetcar as you're talking, Jerod, keep going. This is our streetcar, and it is literally right across the street from the hotel. You'll see that in a second. The streetcar, this is where it starts and where it ends. It's just one station and it'll take you deeper into downtown. So there's the streetcar there. There it is going away. And then there's the hotel. It's just right there.
There's also, and that's totally free.
It's also totally free. There's also a link there as well. You can see that tunnel that runs across the screen there. That connects to Union Station, the giant train station that we have that maybe some of you might be riding in on. But just when Jerod references the streetcar, this is what he's talking about. It's right there. It's easy to access. It's heated. So be sure to use it if you're going to travel outside the hotel.
Yeah, and the streetcar is a great way to access food. But, the only other thing I have to say is Kansas City's food is great, but everybody has a Kansas City barbecue story. And so when you come to Kansas City, be ready to try to search out a couple barbecue restaurants. They're great. For getting around Kansas City, we were Fawn and I were kind of throwing back about back and forth. What is it like to get around Kansas City? And one of the things we talked about was some of the bad things about getting around Kansas City. In February, the weather is really just unpredictable. There may be snow melting and drivers might be having difficulty getting around, but also who knows? Like the weather is one of those things that it's unpredictable. So be prepared. We've had everything from 70 degrees or 21 degrees Celsius for our folks from overseas. We've had those temperatures during the days. We've also had a few feet of snow on the ground. So just be prepared. But for the most part, getting around is easy. Ride shares are easy. The free transportation with the train and the streetcar, easy. Let's go ahead and jump into connecting, Fawn, and let's talk about Chorus and the attendee list and that stuff.
Let's do that. I'll make this really quick so that we can hope to get to some of these questions at the end. And I get that we're at time. We're probably going to go over time a little bit, but we will definitely send out a follow-up email later today with a recording of this entire session. If you want to catch, the tail end of it, if anyone needs to leave now, we'll send that later today, along with a transcript of the chat and any important links that you might need. Anything that we posted, we'll make sure is in that email to all of you attendees. So thank you for that. And if you have to go, I'll just make this goodbye. But yeah, then I'm going to jump into connecting. So it always helps to start having a conversation with the people that you want to connect with at the conference before the conference starts.
Yeah.
You can start building that relationship now. You know you're going to see each other again in February. And last year we sort of recommended that, as a goal, maybe find 10 specific people to connect with. There are a few different ways to do that. I'll let Jerod talk about the attendee list, but I want to talk about one of our most exciting additions to our community offerings, Chorus. Chorus is our community platform. If you go to our website, there will be a link up here at the top. Just click Chorus and it'll take you everywhere you need to go, including to this great video that explains in detail exactly what Chorus is. I won't go into as much detail as I go into in that tutorial video, but I highly suggest that you watch it. I'll just click log in here so you can get a feel for it. Chorus is sort of like, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, those are all great platforms for, broadening our audience and connecting with the world. But there's also a lot of noise there that you have to filter through. And if you just want to connect with the global folk music community, Chorus is the place to do that. We already have hundreds of members. A few of them you might recognize, some of them you might not. Some of you might already be on here. We used this platform for our virtual conference last year, and it was a huge success. And this year we're going to be using it again. So when you join Chorus, you'll get access to our welcome space, which just has our tutorial video, our introduction space where you can introduce yourself, the town square, currently empty, it's brand new, where you can have a discussion, and our events and webinar space where you can catch, news about our webinars like this. But we have a space specifically for our 2024 conference goers where you can connect and chat, figure out who else is going, and where you can hotel share.
Nice.
We would recommend that you post here, especially if you don't want to share, this information on Facebook or on a Facebook group, or if you don't have a Facebook. This is where we'll be inviting all of the conference goers to coordinate their hotel sharing. We also have a space that will be promoting closer to the conference for ride sharing for folks that, maybe want to catch an Uber from the airport together and try to coordinate that. You can DM people here. Here's Lily. I can send Lily a message. Hey, Lily. How's it going? It's a fully featured social platform. It's just specifically for our industry. So sign up for that to get access to the hotel sharing page and the Q&A page and a bunch of other stuff like our news and updates. And make sure you watch our video on our website about it too. It's a really great resource that we're happy to provide free of charge. You don't have to be a member. You just have to sign up. And that's it.
And then the kind of sister resource to that is the attendee list, which we post on the website, which is available to members. And that's just something that if you're wanting to use email to connect with folks before, this is your resource. I think it's really important to talk about what this list is used for and what this list is not used for. It is used to invite people to connect with you at the conference and reach out and make personal connections. What this list is absolutely not for is for bulk email and spamming invitations out to a ton of people at once. There is anti-spam legislation posted on the page where you get the attendees list. Please review that. Please respect that. I can promise you that it is not a good look leading up to prepping for the conference for you to be sending out non-personal bulk emails out to folks, because all of the industry folks, all the artists, all of the presenters see you doing it and realize that you didn't bother to take the time to see who they were and why they should be invited to see your showcase. So personal emails, absolutely the way to go. We're also going to have some virtual networking opportunities before the conference. We've done these in years past. They've been incredibly successful. So we're offering them again. These are a first come, first served basis virtual meetings, just kind of done through Zoom. And registration for these meetings is going to open up in mid-December. So stay tuned. Again, follow us on social. Make sure to subscribe to our newsletter so that you get the announcements that when those virtual meetups are ready. Another awesome advance of the conference, like that happens in the kind of weeks and month before the conference, is the Folk DJ community, Folk DJ Unlocked, sponsored by Artmenius Radio, which is scheduled at the beginning of next year. Artists sign up in advance to pitch music in a really fun, fast-paced 1 hour, attended by many DJs and many artists alike. And that'll be coming out soon. But that's really it for kind of like pre-conference networking. Fawn, I think we're just about ready to wrap this up with our conference checklist. Fawn, we lost your audio. At least I did.
I forgot to unmute.
Yep.
So we've put together this little conference checklist for you, and this brings us to the end of our presentation, but we'll stay around for maybe a few minutes and answer some of these questions that we see. So if you're in the chat and you've got some burning questions, I know we've just thrown, the entire kitchen sink at you as far as info goes, but now's the time to send us a question in the Q&A, or you can shoot us an email or call our office. But our pre-conference checklist, these are the things that you want to make sure that you do before you get to the conference. 1, sign up for Chorus, that great platform that I just showed you. It's really amazing. We have a lot of fun there, and we're just getting started using it for this conference. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid to jump in. Make the first post in the town square if you want. But we'll be sure to get a lot more active as we get closer to the conference. So be sure to sign up for that. Check out the attendee list. The attendee list is for FAI members, but the presenters list is currently up if that's of interest to you. We have the presenters list that's on that same webpage. Make sure you reach out to your private showcase hosts and figure out where you want to have those showcases. Those 6 showcases that you're allotted, those are the late night private showcase hosts. And to our private showcase hosts, make sure that you tag me when you post about your private showcase room, and post about it. If you want to promote it, if you want more artists to sign up, if you want to say a little bit about your room and what you're trying to accomplish there, then feel free to tag us. Make a little video about it. I don't know, do something cool and fun. Prep your collateral. This is specifically for artists, but I mean, it kind of applies to anyone who's promoting, their businesses and services. Your business cards go a long way. We have made an effort to put QR codes on every one of our business cards this year, because QR codes, who knew that QR codes were going to make such a comeback, but here they are. So that's definitely helpful. And for private showcase folks, remember those cards that I showed you earlier. These definitely come in handy. Talk to your local graphic designer. Talk to your local photographer. Get a nice photo of yourself. And make sure that you put those private showcase times on there with a QR code, a little bit about yourself. And make sure that you bring enough to pass around. Those really go a long way, and make an impression. And finally, I want to talk about CDs and digital distribution as far as prep your collateral goes. Like we said, CDs may not be the best thing to bring in bulk. And I don't think that for the most part, our attendees want to start collecting CDs. That's definitely not the vibe. But our DJs might, for sure. So we don't want to completely discount it. Consider your digital distribution. Consider your customer journey. When someone is scanning those QR codes, one thing that I personally dislike is just being taken straight to somebody's homepage. It's like, you met me at this conference. What, am I supposed to just start navigating your site? You want me to look at your tour dates? Like, this isn't necessarily relevant to the business that I wanted to do. Do you have an EPK that's already set up that QR code is going to take me to? Do you have a place where I can just see your press photos and listen to your latest track? Like, really consider where that QR code or where that link is going to take whoever you're giving it to. Really consider your audience and who's going to be at this conference. So with that, let's move on. Follow us on social media, subscribe to our mailing list. And if you're registered for the conference, you will automatically receive our conference emails. Do not unsubscribe from those emails. They're really important. People keep doing that. Don't unsubscribe if you receive our conference emails, because that's where we send a lot of super important info about the conference. And also, attend a region. Our conference is amazing for connecting with the national and international folk community. Our regional conferences are super similar to our conferences. Some even have like really cool special things that they do, but they're specific to the different regions of North America, or our Nordic Folk Alliance, which is in Denmark. These are fantastic for maintaining or broadening your connections where you live. I was supposed to have a slide with other logos, but I'll have to remember to put that in the YouTube video. So we have a web page actually where we talk about this. Let me go to that. Let's see, folk.org/regions, where you can learn more about the different regions. We have SWRFA, that's in Austin, Texas. FARM, the Midwest Folk Alliance region, that's in Illinois. SURFA happens in May of next year. They're the Southeast region. Far West is our Western region, and that just took place a couple weeks ago. NERFA is coming up, and that's what I really want to stress. The Northeast Regional Folk Alliance is really cool, and it's taking place November 9th through the 12th. So if you want a little taste of what to expect from our conference, if you want to just make some connections that you know you're going to see again in February, and if you're in that area, if you're in Connecticut, DC, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, that long list, attend it. It's amazing. You'll have a lot of fun and you'll meet a lot of great people. And then finally, we've got the Nordic Folk Alliance. That's in Denmark, and that happens in May of next year. So NERFA is the only region left to attend this year. But again, we highly recommend that you go and you check it out. So next up, become a member. You get an instant saving on your conference registration, and I think members get a discount to NERFA as well, and all the other regions that are happening next year. And I think that's it. Subscribe to our emails. I already said that, but yes, follow us on socials. Look at our posts. And engage with us, because that's where we're going to be posting a lot of really cool stuff that's happening at the conference. And of course, look at our emails, because we'll be announcing a lot of great things there too. Jerod, do you want to take a moment to just go through these Q&As really quickly?
You know, I did. I've been reviewing the chat. I just want to give a huge shout out to Tisha, who has been rocking the chat. I could not even find a question that went unanswered. So excellent work. You know, I feel like we've kind of covered everything, and I think this is probably as good a place as any to wrap this up.
We did have a few Q&A, a few in the Q&A section.
Oh, there are. Okay.
Yes.
Throw them out.
So,
rapid
Phyllis
fire,
asks,
lightning round. Let's go.
A few of these were answered, but Phyllis, will there be a presenters room where we can pose questions to presenters, i.e. locations, missions, etc.? There will be a peer session for presenters, for venues. Actually, there are multiple peer sessions if we're doing the same as we did last year for venues of different sizes and different regions. But Jerod, do you have more insight on that?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Tyler asks, hi, do y'all have any info about the Showcase Free Zone hosted by Local 1000? Actually,
the Showcase Free Zone. I don't know if that's the name of Local 1000's private showcase room, perhaps.
Maybe.
But Local 1000 has always presented and partnered with Folk Alliance International and been a great resource. We a lot of times give them rooms so they can hold an annual meeting during our event. And again, like I mentioned, potentially a private showcase room, but we don't have any specifics to what Local 1000 is doing. Follow up with them directly if you want information on what they're doing at Folk Alliance this year.
Okay. Yeah. And I should say that there are a lot of presenters that will announce their private showcase before they've been listed on the website. So like we said, just keep checking back. If you don't see that room listed, it's probably just a matter of time before that happens. So let's see. Anything?
Fawn, I just wanted to jump in real fast. Lee Herman actually responded to that question. And he says, it's not a showcase room. It's for folks to play together.
Interesting.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know how they set that up, but definitely contact them and ask.
Absolutely. That's probably a jam that they're putting together. So yeah, exactly, Tisha. Contact Local 1000 representatives to find out more information. Oh, it looks like the chat's blowing up with information. So if you want information on this, check the chat.
Awesome. I'm going to save the chat now and make sure that that gets sent out with everyone. And also, thanks for coming, everyone. I know that it's been a long webinar. We've gone over time. There's a lot of information. And trust me, if you're coming to Folk Alliance for the first time, I don't even know if this adequately prepares you for how amazing it is. I've worked here for 4 years. It is incredible. It's really magical, and I'm excited for all of you to come and experience it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us, give us a call, engage with us on social media. It'll probably be me responding to your DMs there. And thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really look forward to seeing you all in February.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, y'all.
See ya. Oh, hey, Thea's here. Hey, Thea. See you later.
Nice.
I'm ending it.
Ooh.